Hi folks, I'm the Newstarcadefan here, and in the last episode we saw how bleak Bunny and Mizuki's future are. Here we're going to continue on with the interview with the captain, and yes, he knows more than he did. It's the same thing in the beginning, we know a lot, but not everything. And they're hoping that this will make Kenji more willing to follow through with the come onto their side. Of course, this is when everything will start falling into place for them. Of course, Bunny is not comfortable with letting Kenji see the outside world, and she's not exactly a fake person either. So we'll believe, or she'll believe what she'll believe. Meanwhile, in the present time, the plan is set, but like I said in the last episode, this is going to be a trap. The girls are worried. Rose really does care for Kenji, and so does Kyo. And this has been that little bit of time. And they don't actually know what to do at this point with the motivational speeches and stuff. But now it's time exactly to get to work because Michelle's got the beacon ready. And they have to go through the time window at a time like this because she married her for something that their commander would be using. And there's no guarantees, but there's still hope. And it's time for them to leave, though Rose isn't exactly well, you know. And this is, yeah, you're not gonna get used to time window traveling, but somehow they're doing something quite dangerous being held in a time window. And this is the effects. It's on a stretching fabric through the silent chamber. Rose clutched her body as her chest fell out, her plating creaking as she grew. Kyo could feel her body ballooning outwards, her bra dragging forward as her bust expanded, her hips spread out, widening and accentuating her hourglass figure. Rose clutched her stomach as her body surged bigger and bigger than she had in the previous trips. She began to worry. This was Rose's big fear. And they've been kept in the time window for a lot longer than they needed to be. And here's why they was kept in the time window for that long. That's what she said it. The world finally rematerialized itself. The two girls falling flat on their faces, dragged out by the unusual weight of their bodies. And here's Bunny and Mizuki. They're ready to fight. They're ready to fight and to take out the competition. Rose fought back as Mizuki attempted to tie her hands back, but to no avail. Her body still felt like a ton of bricks for some reason. The trip through the time without taking a toll on her body, and she wasn't too keen on. She was tired out. Meanwhile, Death by Kyo, on the other hand, was able to push through. Kyo was just done. She whipped something around her arm and Bunny pulled Kyo towards her like an embrace, smiling. And she's taunting us again. and she's got us in her legs. Kyo can feel her captor's legs entwining themselves around her as she struggled in Bunny's grip. She tried to release her whip, yet another strike, but she couldn't get it to come to her. She was trapped. Finally coming to her senses, Rose lifted herself up, tossing her back. Mizuki brandishing her blade, pointing her with a bold stance. She glared over at her opponent, who unsheathed her own katana. And no, they're not in any condition to fight. And there's a plan here somewhere. She shouted those words as she lunged at Mizuki with little effect. However, as docile Kunichi dodged side to side, slicing her blade upwards and forcing Rose's sword from her hands. Rose merely flew by with a gasp, as the world feeling as it were in slow motion. Suddenly, Mizuki struck her heart in the gut, taking all the wind out of her. Rose collapsed into her arms, and Mizuki lifted her with ease. That's one down. Now, Bunny's taking care of Kyo. Using her long legs, Bunny swiftly clocked Kyo in the head. The shorter girl couldn't fight back the sudden bout of unconsciousness that befell her. Yeah, they had a good old easy time with this one. In fact, yes. That's the reason. Yeah, if you guys haven't figured out who the mastermind was at this point, you're gonna be surprised, because Michelle wouldn't have helped them in the time window for that long without any reason. She took the chance to poke one of Kyo's boobs as she held on to her, watching them dangle back and forth in response to her actions. Now it's time for them to hurry through the time window. Meanwhile, everybody is reunited, but not in the best circumstances. I stepped over from the back wall. I had been keeping an eye on them since they'd been taken through the window, which was only a few short hours ago. No, they didn't do that. Not in a harmful way anyway. Felt myself go red, but blushed the thoughts off like always. More about you. What happened to you? Did they hurt you? That was a trip. And well, Kyo still has the giant tits because they're not back in their own time. She gestured to her chest, and immediately I knew what she was referring to, even if her hands were tied behind her back. I'm not sure the effect of time window usually wear off by now. Physically, yes. I don't feel any stronger than I usually do. Yes, the estrogen that went to them physically, none of the mental states and causes and all that. She messed up the transport for reals. We were both silent for a moment until Kyo finally remembered her original worries. And there's another good question, where's Rose? She's right behind, but out like a light. And he's kept an eye on them, both of them. They haven't done anything weird, and there's nowhere to escape to. Yeah, we need to tell that story, because we're not exactly going anywhere. She rubbed her hands a bit, causing her chest to bobble in place from the movement. I collected my thoughts and came up with a way of telling her. Well, they're in the future, not far, but pretty far, from the looks of it. She deduced all of that. And this future is pretty bleak, and it's a wasteland everywhere. And that's exactly what Crontek was trying to do, grow back in time and stop it from happening. She sat there and thought over my simplified version of Crontek's mission. Her methods aren't exactly safe, altering time could potentially rip everything apart. And I'm entirely convinced of that theory. But they also don't want their time destroyed, which is understandable. And I can also understand why it can be a bit troublesome, considering they could have just explained themselves. I don't think. Yeah, Tensai was pissed off about that, and he didn't take into account that maybe people from the future using the same exact for different purposes. It's time to do this task. And also, they can't really kill Kenji because, well, they kinda need him. And Michelle's the only one who knows how to work the time window aside from Bunny and Mizuki. So, it's time we undid their bounds, and they kept. Right, Mizuki wanted to prevent a second escape, so. Here we go. She sat up a bit straighter, sighing. And they still haven't gone back down, of course not. She stared at her chest, and then around her backside. Yup, her ass grew. Yes, because they're in an alternate time, and it makes a lot of sense. They were both silent, still thinking through the logic of the situation. I got up and walked over to Rose. She was still out cold. And we both hope she's okay. Kenji cares about everybody a lot over the past week, and he really does care about Rose. I turned my head seeing her smile, the blush turning my gaze especially. That doesn't mean I don't like you, Kyo, just... Yeah, it's not a competition. I turned to look at her again, her sprightly nature behind her words. She smiled proudly at me. Remember, when we were laid up in the lab, she was freaked out about what would have happened if we didn't come for the time window alive. She patted the floor next to her. She huddled, and I sat, huddled close, doing her best to comfort me. I'd be lying if I said it wasn't working. Right. Now, the gods can be jerks, shallow, fickle, and just as disrespectful. She shifted in place before continuing. There are plenty of nice guys. For some reason, we have this stigma that being plain respectful to girls is a bad thing. That is confusing. I don't think it's that. I think it revolves around the idea that because a guy is good, he feels entitled to have a girl because of his actions. And it does make sense. We both were silent again. I can tell Kyo wanted to say something, but she wanted the space between the conversation before she brought it up. Right, that's a good question. She never came on to us hardcore, even in the games room. Yeah, we barely knew each other, but there's another reason. She trusts us. She's never been the flirtatious type. She's been upfront with this. She's been actually the wallflower type. And well, it makes things a lot harder on her, to be honest. And without a loss for words, Kyo just beamed another one of her famous smiles at me before continuing. But I was never one to make the first move. She never. And well, things are just things. She glanced over at her friend, and I thought I could see a glimmer of envy, but it was there. It was extinguished almost immediately. So Kyo is kinda jealous, but isn't really. That's true. She turned her face to me, setting a hand on my lap. This immediately got my attention. I inhaled sharply and looked over at her. Sorry. She wants to indulge once before she loses all her chances. And with that, she went silent, moving her face. I was frozen to the spot, so enamored by our words before our lips met. We sat there, my eyes slowly closing, the fear dripped away. Yeah, we kissed her. She sat back, cheeks flushed, heavy breathing. I knew there wasn't that much different from her condition. It took a while before either of us spoke up. What exactly? And we don't have to speak of this again. And she's always here for us. And that's something I was already know. Yeah, it's not the most romantic setting. She obviously flustered, not expecting my response. Yeah, it was a spur of the moment. It was fine, but it was just unexpected. Before we can get out any further, Rose shuffled down from her mattress, her eyes flitting open slowly. It didn't take long for them to shoot open, her body going from lying in position on the floor to full on sitting. Her balance wobbling back and forth as she realized what was still attached to her chest. She still doesn't like him. Huh? She really doesn't like him. We need to explain a lot to Rose. I went on to explain what I said to Kyo, filling Rose in on every detail of Prontek's plan, as well as Kyo and I's activities since she regained her consciousness. Obviously, not all of our activities, but at least our discussion before that. She took a moment to soak in the information, her hands wriggling in their restraints. It's time to get her out of there. After a bit of a struggle, she was freed from her bindings. She wrapped her wrist before standing, wobbling slightly over before grabbing her center of gravity. Yep, they're ridiculous. She reached back onto her backside and let her cute eat. And that's definitely... Well, we don't believe the logical explanation is we're not back in the original time, so... Yeah, the longer they're there, the bigger they get, and the bigger they get, the more likely they'll keep it. That's very bad. And yes, she would love to fit into her clothes. It's only fluttered Rose further. Yeah, Kyo was giving her the business. She stuck out her tongue and wandered around the dark room. That's a good question. And here's Mizuki. The muted voice of Mizuki caused all three of us to turn our heads. She stood there at the center and had somehow snaked away into the room unheard, wearing a casual attire. And here's where I'm going to end it. Anyway, before I end this, I would like to actually say this. For those of you who are watching this on VidMe, it will not be up there by December 15th. All videos now will be YouTube only. However, I still ask that, at least on YouTube, that you like, comment, and follow me on the videos because it does help me out a lot. Anyway, I'm the Newstarcadefan here. Thanks for watching. Have a good day or night wherever you are. And of course, bye for now.